Hello everyone! Somewhere in the South Pacific, there is a mysterious virgin island inhabited by women keeping the secret of long life. The locals age 10 times slower than other people, obsessed with the idea of immortality. Influential Mr. Song has sent many expeditions to the area, but none of them returned. Only one explorer managed to reach the island, but he disappeared without a trace. 10 years later, his son Wang set off on a perilous journey, trying to unravel the island's greatest mystery and find his father. Upon hearing on the radio that Mr. Song, a well-known philanthropist and entrepreneur, is funding another expedition to discover the mysterious Virgin Island, a guy named Wang browses the internet to gather more information about it. Reports suggest that the island is situated in the South Pacific and has strong undercurrents encircling it. Additionally, the population comprises entirely of females. However, no explorer who participated in the expedition has ever set foot on its shores, except for a certain Lee who managed to land on the Virgin Island and then disappeared without a trace. It was Wang's father. The hero sends an application for the expedition and packs his gear to set out. In the port, Wang meets his old friend Xian Yu, a navigator who used to serve in the Royal Somalian Navy. He wants to go on the expedition to the island with him, and it turns out that he already bought an old boat for that. Rather than using his friend's boat, Wang heads straight to the big boat Mr. Song has rigged for the expedition. As the partners board, Song's assistant shows up and gives them a GPS tracker to be activated on the island. The explorers set sail. The ocean adventure seems like fun at first, and Xian and Wang enjoy their time on the boat. But after 2 months of sailing across the open ocean, it's no fun anymore. The boat drifts aimlessly amidst the ocean, and the exhausted and hungry travelers cannot even rise to the deck. Nevertheless, they gather their strength to study the map again, but it turns out that Xian was holding it upside down. As Wang collapses on his back, exhausted and desperate, with his face to the sun, a white, stinky glob of seagull poop lands on him. Realizing the birds are circling near the shore, Wang grabs his telescope. As he looks out into the distance, he spots an island on the horizon, but the raging coastal waves make it impossible to cross by boat. So the partners have no choice but to swim to the island. After overcoming the brutal forces of nature, the heroes finally reach the shore. With some effort, Wang opens his eyes and looks around. He immediately sees a pair of female legs in a belligerent stance in front of him, with spears and arrows pointed in his face. Exhausted, he loses consciousness. Waking up again, the travelers see armed and belligerent women all around them. Xian tries to greet them in different languages to find out where they are. The strangers reply in Chinese, which leads Xian to believe that after 2 months of sailing, they have returned to their starting point and found themselves in a remote province where some movie is filmed. He mistakes the women for actresses and everything around them for a movie set. The guy grimaces and demands to see the director. His behavior pisses off the locals, and the clown gets hit with a durian club. The island women lock the strangers in a cage. One of them tells them that in the last 500 years, they are among the few who have been able to make it to the island. A surprised Xian can't believe this because the women look so young. But Wang, upon hearing this, realizes what happened. They have indeed made it to the island where the secret of long life is hidden. He calms his friend down and suggests escaping at night, using a knife to free themselves from their cage. As darkness falls, the partners escape from their cage, then plan their route to the shore and split up before running towards freedom. Xian's recklessness leads him into a series of traps that he cannot escape from, while Wang stumbles upon the village by taking an alternate route. Hiding from the night patrol, the guy sneaks into a nearby hut, but he hears someone approaching and has to hide. A girl named Mu Yun and her younger sister walk into the hut and discuss the strangers who appeared on the island, reasoning that they don't look like bad guys. The girl takes off her dress and gets into the tub. In an attempt to escape the trap, Wang crawls towards the exit, but he bumps into the younger girl, whose silence Wang tries to get in exchange for candy. However, the girl still screams, giving away the hero's presence. Without delay, the island women come running to help, and Wang is quickly surrounded with no chance of escaping. Wang is brought to the hut of the elders, who must decide how to punish him for seeing one of the women of the island naked. However, Xian, who has freed himself from the traps and arrived to rescue his friend, unexpectedly bursts into the hut. But his threats look like a mockery, and the guy gets what he deserves for his undignified behavior. The head of the island community decides to execute the strangers, but she intends to find out why they came to the island in the first place. Wang reveals that he's searching for his father, an explorer who arrived here more than 10 years ago. To his surprise, it turns out that the elder knows Lee. His eyes light up with hope, but the stern woman declares that she would like to find the man herself and kill him with her own hands. She learns that Wang's a descendant of explorer Li and decides that just to execute the strangers is not enough. The men sentenced to death are tied up and put in barrels with water and herbs. The partners ponder their impending deaths when Mu suddenly shows up. The enraged girl tells them that there is a curse on the island. If the girl's naked body is seen by a man, she will turn ugly, and the only way to break the curse is to kill whoever was watching her. Mu draws a knife, but instead of stabbing Wang, she cuts the rope around his arms. The girl doesn't want anyone to die because of her, so she frees the prisoners and allows them to escape. However, the partners fall into a trap in the night, and the next morning, they are caught and tied up again. The tribe and their visitors found themselves in a clearing near a sacred tree, where the elder joyfully declares they're about to have a barbecue. The girls then took the captives and began to season them with spices. The culinary ritual was suddenly disrupted by the news of a girl named Chunhua drowning in the raging coastal waves, causing the tribe to rush to her rescue. The captives use burning coals to get rid of the ropes and drop the smoldering log at the roots of the sacred tree. Once at the shore, aiming to swim to the drifting yacht, the partners see the helpless islanders crying, unable to help their dying friend. Despite the tempting chance to escape, the heroes nevertheless decide to help the women. Wang rushes into the water and saves Chun, and Xian brings her to her senses by giving her mouth to mouth. At another council of the tribe, the elder decides the men's fate given their heroic actions. Mu and Chun convince the elder to refrain from the death penalty, and the travelers are allowed to stay for 3 years, until the winds change and the current brings the yacht to the island shores. Suddenly, the elder learns that a sacred tree has been burned down. It's clear who's to blame for that. Mu and Chun once again manage to plead for forgiveness for the heroes, and the elder gives them 3 months to revive the tree, or else the boys would face the death penalty. Realizing what they got themselves into, Wang and Xian try to revive the charred tree, meticulously scrubbing the ashes from the bark, fertilizing the roots, and giving it drips with nutrients. With each passing day, the men feel more at home among the tribe. The rescued Chunhua begins to chase Xian and flirt with him, giving him a stick treatment if he resists. And Xian has no choice but to date her. Wang, meanwhile, watches Mu, who is weaving flower wreaths, and tries to save her from a venomous snake. Turns out he didn't have to. The reptile turns out to be the girl's pet. Despite the incident, the young couple gets closer and spends the evening making wishes under the shooting stars. Wang remembers his father, a missing researcher. After a while, a miracle happens. The heroes succeed in reviving the sacred tree, and in the evening, the tribe joyfully celebrates. The women dance around the fire, and while Chun desperately tries to win Xian's attention. Meanwhile, Wang is mesmerized by Mu, who dances gracefully in front of the flames and realizes that he would like to take care of this fragile girl for the rest of his life. As they walk together after dancing, Mu tells Wang the story of the tribe. Once upon a time, there was a tribe of witches. They guarded the seed that contained the source of eternal youth. The other tribes were afraid of death, which led them to attack the guardian and steal the seed. But the witch gave it to the youngest girl and told her to run away. The girl made her way to an uninhabited island, which was gradually filled with life through the power of the seed. The island is now home to a thriving coven of witches, and that girl from the story happens to be their elder. The next day, Mu leads Wang to the place on the island where his father was last seen. Wang finds the explorer's diary, in which he has written down that he intends to end the expedition, so that the ancient tragedy that befell the witch tribe would never happen again. In the notes, he also addresses his son and asks him to understand the choices he had to make. Wang makes the same decision, to end the expedition and stay on the island. Xian, who doesn't want to return to civilization to breathe in smog and recycled oil, agrees with his idea. Together, they destroy the GPS tracker and leave the shore. The moment they move away from the device, they hear that the device is transmitting a signal. Mr. Song immediately receives the coordinates. The heroes explain what happened to the elder of the community. Realizing that they have put the tribe in danger, 2 friends begin to prepare for Song and his associates. They don't have any weapons, so the clever men come up with another plan. They teach the islanders the art of femininity and elegance by dressing them in enticing outfits, instructing them how to apply makeup and act polite. As they are getting ready for Mr. Song, he is already approaching the island. He decides to send a small group to scout ahead before going ashore himself. A formidable armed squad lands on the island and finds a village of island women. The seductive girls on the island lure and disarm the thugs who come their way. Soon the entire scouting team finds themselves firmly tied up. After disarming Song's accomplices, Wang and Xian are waiting for Song to show up. They decide to deceive the villain by saying that they have stumbled upon the wrong island, but their plan has a big flaw. They know that Virgin Island is populated exclusively by women, and they have to show Song the men in order for the deception to work. Soon, Song and his armed goons show up on the island. He sees the peaceful population and his explorers, who cheerfully greet the boss. They tell him this is not the mysterious island of women he was looking for. And to prove this, two men, who are actually a couple of local women in disguise, pass by. Song gets suspicious, and to distract the boss, Wang and Xian lead him to a table with poisoned food. However, the clever villain makes his sidekick drink the offering first, and when he drops dead, the deception is revealed. Song's guards tie up all the women and the two friends. The villain uses Mu's younger sister as leverage to force her into searching for the seed, while also placing an explosive device on Wang as a backup plan. The group advances into the jungle, but the girls find a way to free themselves from the ropes and attack the goons. Obsessed with his idea, Song won't back down and follows Wang, who leads him to the coast. Song realizes that Wang has deceived him and is not leading him to the elixir of youth. Wang refuses to show the way, even under the threat of death, and the women and Xian come to attack the villain and try to disarm him, but he still manages to push the button. A 30-second countdown begins on the bomb display. Wang decides to sacrifice himself to save the others and runs through the coastal waves away from the shore. Memories of his happy life on the island flash before his eyes, and soon there is an explosion. The survivors on the shore are filled with grief as they mourn their lost friend, while Mu weeps inconsolably for her lover. After a brief moment of unconsciousness, Wang feels utterly exhausted, struggling to open his eyes, and sees the shore of the island. As always, check out the name of the movie in the video description. In the meantime, let us know in the comments, how did you interpret the ending? Did Wang really survive, or was he just imagining the whole adventure? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, not to miss new, cool recaps.